The time is just gone 19 minutes past 9 a.m. as we continue with the show this morning. And it's time now to link up with the CEO of Penny Appeal South Africa, Shahnaaz Paruk, looking at Team Orange, looking at their current campaigns. Shahnaaz, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome as always, and wonderful that you are able to join us this morning.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. It's always a pleasure to be chatting with you and catching up.
Yes. Now, just before we get to the current campaigns that Penny Appeal is involved in, and with the climate that we are living in, the difficult climate, the pandemic, the economic climate, but regardless of what we see happening around us, organizations like Penny Appeal will continue regardless of what we see around us, because at the end of the day, there's just so much despair. There is a lot of desperation out there, and thanks to people like yourselves, thanks to organizations like Penny Appeal South Africa, that you are able to, embark on projects, and more importantly, to bring relief to people who need it most.
Alhamdulillah, I think, if anything, myself and the team here always count our blessings for us to be able to be in the position to assist people. And I think, rightfully so, like you said, now more than ever, there's such a need out there in our country, in our neighboring countries, Malawi, Zimbabwe, the rest of them. The need just seems to be escalating, and conditions seem to be changing all the time. So I think, just being able to do something to make that difference, even if we can impact or transform or help a few lives, a few families, a few communities, alhamdulillah, it's something at least. And I do think that right now, more than ever in our country, every single action or every little bit counts.
Yes, and also with Penny Appeal being involved in a number of campaigns, sometimes we lose sight of the fact the work that goes on in the background in obviously identifying campaigns, but also more importantly setting the wheels in motion as far as implementing these campaigns go, Shahnaaz.
Definitely, I think what very often what people see is literally what meets you at face value, which is distribution of aid, which is feedback on how much was done in specific communities. It's being able to demonstrate that we've managed to reach communities and impact them for the greater good. But before we even get to that stage, there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes, from meeting with communities, meeting with community leaders, being able to map out the needs of the community, what is the right type of approach to go and work with them, what is the right approach to what does transformation translate to, and then obviously, planning the actual activity or project, and then fundraising for it. So definitely many hats that need to be worn in that entire project cycle. But ultimately, I think, if I look back just on a few of the campaigns we've done recently, such as the Tando Drive for sanitary wear, if I look back at Feed Our World, which is one of our ongoing campaigns, definitely all of them tailored for communities with the inclusion. And I think that's the most important part, being able to work with donors to be able to match the needs in communities.
Well, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you, Shahnaaz. Now, let's talk about the current campaigns that Penny Appeal is involved in.
We've had, I think, what's been a really busy time. If I think about it, since Ramadan, literally, we haven't stopped in terms of, then going into the Qurbani campaign. Alhamdulillah, that was hugely successful, the Qurbani campaign for South Africa, as well as Malawi and Zimbabwe. We then implemented and distributed all of the Qurbani meat packs that were provided, I think, from the actual day of Eid right up until perhaps 2 weeks after Eid was the last of the distribution because of the sheer volume of food parcels and meat packs that we had. We then embarked on the Tando campaign, which focused primarily on highlighting and advocating for issues surrounding female menstrual health. It also focused a lot on identifying underserved communities, specifically girl children and vulnerable females who still don't have access to sanitary wear in this day and age. Despite all of the advancements that we have, we still have this age-old problem of people or women not having resources to adequately provide themselves with the necessary sanitary wear. And so Penny Appeal embarked on this. This was actually This campaign was a spin-off from a visit that we had done at a school, a very, I would say, a school that is seen in the community as being quite, self-sustaining. But some of the more vulnerable girls that were at the school, we were told by the teachers that, they were using horrific items to be able to take care of themselves during the menstrual cycle. And so we decided to do something about that. And alhamdulillah, it was phenomenally successful. We had Team Orange volunteers and ambassadors that really stepped up to the game, raised funds for this. We had 3 males that actually joined the campaign to advocate for this, to tell people that it's okay to talk about these things. And, these are things that need attention if we want to holistically look at needs in communities. And so Penny Appeal has considered this to now be one of our ongoing campaigns in providing sanitary wear to needy girls in schools as well as women in communities. And we're hoping to make inclusions for this in our food packs as well, specifically where we know there are vulnerable girl children and women in the family.
Yes, and just talking about vulnerable, we know that the most vulnerable anywhere across the world and also in this country are children. And an issue that is close to your heart and everybody else at Penny Appeal is the child sponsorship program, Shahnaaz.
Definitely, undoubtedly. Initially we had sponsorships of orphan and vulnerable children from other countries. And then being Penny Appeal South Africa, we took a step back and we said, South Africa has one of the highest rates of orphan and vulnerable children in the world, right? This is probably exacerbated by numerous factors, but more importantly, we know that HIV/AIDS still holds quite a high rate of infection here in our country. There are many child-headed households, orphaned children, and then vulnerable children who have maybe one parent still surviving or who have to take care of themselves. If they're classified as vulnerable, they still fall within that category of receiving assistance. So we've embarked and we've revived our orphan sponsorship program. It was previously called Orphan Kind, and now we're calling it child sponsorship. And there's 2 reasons for this. Utilizing the word orphan when you say to a child, you are an orphan, or utilizing that word so loosely in communities sometimes comes with connotations that makes the child feel, emotionally more vulnerable than they should be. And so child sponsorship automatically puts on some kind of positivity in the actual name. And that's what we're trying to achieve by supporting a child for at least a 1-year period. We're able to provide them with essential school items, school uniforms, clothing twice a year because of the different seasonal changes. There's food packs that the household that they're living in receives every month. We have regular update sessions with them and their guardians. We offer health and awareness campaigns as well as medical campaigns for the child if required. So definitely a host and a variety of aspects that the child gets offered simply so that they're able to have the best shot of transforming their own lives out of the poverty cycle. Currently, Penny Appeal South Africa sponsors close on to 100 children, and we're hoping that's within South Africa. And we're hoping to grow this number, inshallah, so that we can really, really, see the benefits of being able to instill positivity and positive transformation with these children.
Well, certainly, because a child requires comprehensive, holistic support. And it's not only about feeding a child or taking care of a child's needs, but it's basically covers every aspect of their life as they grow up.
Definitely. I think very often we think, and we're all guilty of it at some point in the humanitarian sector. We feel that a food pack is perhaps, the best or the only assistance that could be provided. But we don't understand, what it's more than that. It's the pair of school shoes. It's the access to being enrolled at a school and ensuring that they go to a school. It's being able to get a pair of spectacles if they require it so that they can excel at school. So it's the medical attention. It's being able to have social workers speak to certain families that may have issues. So definitely holistic, yes. And I think there's a proverb that's used in African and South African communities that it takes a village to raise a child. And that's exactly what we're trying to, instill. We're saying bring back the concept of all of us being responsible for children in our community. I often speak about things like values in community and society. And I feel that if everybody has a common stand in terms of instilling values and wanting to help to raise our future, because children are literally our future. When we are older, it is the younger individuals who will then take over. We have to ensure that it's the best possible opportunity that they have to excel at life to create change in their own communities one day, inshallah.
Well, inshallah. And Shahnaaz, all of this will not be possible without the team behind you and the volunteer squad of Penny Appeal. Tell us more.
So there's twofold in that Team Orange is our volunteer unit, a volunteer component. It's a group of phenomenal individuals who literally have the only desire, which is to change the world, or as we say, to spray the world orange. But quite literally, Team Orange is our volunteer family. They are instrumental in everything we do, from being able to assist us logistically sometimes with projects, to fundraising for certain projects, physically helping us out at distributions, activations, and outreach programs. We've had specific professionals who have extended their services or their career skills and expertise to us in a voluntary capacity. There's so many different levels of them that we're so thankful to have a Team Orange unit that is as motivated and dedicated to Penny Appeal South Africa's vision. And we're really thankful to the Almighty for sending these people to us, for us to be able to work with them, inshallah, in making good changes in society. And then, of course, there's our staff complement. We've now grown to a staff of 8 or 9 individuals, including one in Zimbabwe and another in Malawi. So it's a small team, but alhamdulillah, I am so thankful to say that the motivation, dedication, and passion that comes from them, nothing would be possible without their input and their dedication and their hard work. And of course, all thanks to the Almighty again for bringing together like-minded people to be able to execute and make better changes in this world, inshallah.
Yes, and also looking at the involvement of people, your donor community, and I'd like to end with this question, obviously, in terms of how do people still get involved? How do they donate towards Penny Appeal and all these campaigns and projects you speak of, Shahnaaz?
So our donors are really the other stakeholders in the work that we do, and we're really thankful for them. Literally, if without funds, it's as simple as without the funds that we receive, we would not be able to do the work that we do. We always encourage individuals to check our social media pages constantly. We're always updating on Instagram and Facebook. It's at Penny Appeal SA. That's the media handle. You're also able to contact our WhatsApp line, which is 081 407 2753. And, please consider donating regularly to our various campaigns that run all throughout the year. We do a lot of projects in South Africa, as well as Zimbabwe, Malawi, and other SADC countries, Palestine, Syria, Yemen as well. And we really, really hope to take people along this journey of transforming communities for good, inshallah, if they afford us the opportunity.
Inshallah,
so every little bit counts, and we really hope that people will take up the challenge to donate, inshallah.
Well, certainly, Shahnaaz, but as always, we say Jazakallah to you. Allah reward your efforts and everybody else that is involved with Penny Appeal, including Team Orange. And we wish you all the best, inshallah. May you continue from strength to strength, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
These days,